Hello, this is Richard Sturdivant, and I'm here to talk to you today about the finishing of a print, the difference between a merit or a lone image. I've been competing for years, and I've had the benefit of learning and performing on both sides of the fence. I've competed for many years. I've been a international juror and still an international juror, and have learned quite a bit about competition and about how to finish a print, how to get that last bit of oomph to that print to get it over to a loan. And I've been very successful with it and done very well. And so I just want to talk to you about my thoughts on it, and and about the 12 elements of print competition. We got the 12 elements, and with PPA, has got these on their sites, and you can go and look at those. And here are the 12 elements, and most of you should know these if you're competing. One is impact, two, technical excellence, creativity, style, composition, presentation, color balance, center of interest, lighting, subject matter, technique, and storytelling. Now, those are not in the order that they should come. It's just the way they've got these. But I've got it broke down into three categories: concept, execution, and finish. That's creativity, style, subject matter, and storytelling. This is your idea stage. This is where you come up with your idea. This is where you're going to go, okay, I'm going to get this model. I'm going to have this idea. We're going to get this costuming, or I'm going to go shoot these elements, and I'm going to composite this together. And then you can decide what kind of style you want this in. And here are some examples of concept. This is Moses with the burning bush. Now, this is not my original concept. This is, of course, from the Bible, but I took this concept and interpreted it, and just kind of put my little spin on it. And of course, I went with that Charlton Heston kind of clothing and look, because I really like that. And another one that I really like, and this was originally from me. It's called Sin City, and this is a blow up of it, where we've got three subjects in here. One of them's a robot, and so this has totally come out of my mind. And I've been known to do this kind of stuff for years, just come up with crazy stuff. So it just depends what I think about. And then if I come up with the idea, I'll sketch it down, and then I'll go through and I'll try to work out the details. First start with the model, and the elements that I'm going to need. I'm going to shoot this in camera. I'm going to composite it together. So the next category we're going to go to execution. Now, execution, I put these elements in there: impact, composition, center of interest, and lighting. Now, impact, it could go in any one of these three subcategories that I broke this into. But impact is where you really pull this thing, the base of this thing together. And that comes with composition and impact. I put both of those together. Center of interest is right there, and of course your lighting. Is your lighting perfect for the scene? Doesn't mean it has to be perfect, but is it perfect for the scene? Does it fit the story that you're trying to tell? Does it fit the environment that you're in? So these are all things that you have to get worked out in the concept stage, and then you have to be able to execute those. And I see a lot of people in print competition, especially as a judge, they get these prints, and they got such great ideas, and they executed it all the way to the point to where they don't know where to go. And so they enter it, and there's just this little bit of oomph that needs to be done to it, and that's the finish. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. But I'm going to show you a couple examples of prints of mine that I did. I thought I handled the execution very well on. And this is Divine Steam. It is a composite, and it was entered in the open category. And I composited these wings together out of mechanical pieces and pulleys. I really enjoy this piece, and I come up with this idea in my mind. I got the clothing for it. I got the model. He was actually bald. I went and got a gray wig for him. And then, we put that together and executed it, and I shot it against gray screen. So it's a pretty simple composite, to be honest with you. It's just the idea was really good, and the lighting was perfect for the scene. We put the little time traveling device in there, and I also went through the steps of putting actual dates in history down here in case any judges, when they were judging it, had any kind of question about what those dates were. If we had a history buff in there, it would help me out in as far as the judging goes. But this is a piece I was very proud of. Sometimes pieces, when you do a composite, doesn't take a whole lot of time. I think this one probably took about 4 hours, from shoot to finish. Sometimes they take 40 hours. It just depends. The next category we're going to go to is finish. Now, I put technical excellence, presentation, color balance, and technique because all of those things have to come together at this stage. You got the idea, you got the concept, you got the execution, you got it composed. You're putting all these things together. Now you got to finish it out, and that comes with technical excellence. Now, an open category, that can be subjective. It just depends on what your style is or what your technique is. It depends. I mean, you got a panel of 5 to 6 judges, and from one panel to the next, they could like one print and not like another print. Presentation has to be very solid and simple and doesn't take away from the image. Color balance has got to be spot on. You can't have a subject with one white balance and a background with a different white balance. And your technique, does your technique work with the subject matter that you're working with? And this is the stage where I feel like people can have a lot of improvement, and this just takes time. Sometimes you don't get to finish it like you want because you don't have time. You're pushing to the last minute. But I would encourage you to keep putting that time into that finished part. And if you have some mentors that you can work with that can actually help you and look at it with a different set of eyes. You always need a different set of eyes to look at your prints. But the finish is where you actually bring it home. And this is my opinion. It's not opinion of PPA or opinion of ASP or anyone else, but my own opinion that if you have a good concept, you execute it with good composition, good lighting, and you can finish this print off and you can make sure that they're, all the different pieces fit together, they flow naturally together, and it has a natural, seamless flow for the viewer, I feel like you're going to go to a lone image. And I feel that's one reason why I've been successful at that. So I keep trying to push the limits and keep trying to grow as an artist and as a competitor and also as an international juror. So I'm going to give you a couple examples of some ones that I thought that I finished very well. This next one is pretty graphic, so be prepared for it. And this one is the crucifixion of Jesus. It's like the title of it was "Would You Take My Place?" And this is a print from this year. Now, this is where you had to bring it home. I mean, you could put all these elements together, and at what point do you stop and what point do you keep going? How gory do you make it to tell the story, and how realistic can you make those things? And so I decided to push the limits on it a little bit, and I wanted a story here with Jesus actually making eye contact with you. And for some people it's hard for them to look at. For some people it's troubling. For some people they think it's awesome. But in any case, it has impact, and the finish is solid. And we're going to look at a close-up here. And if you could look at the wounds that I put across the body, I tried to make those as very realistic as I could, and stayed within my style, the way that I work. I went strictly by the Bible, and there are some interpretations. Also, people have different interpretations of where the stakes were put in the hands or the wrists and stuff. I decided to go with the hands, and so these are just little things that will help me go over to that next level. I'm pretty sure a print like this is going to merit, but I want it to go lone. I want to make sure that it goes lone. And sometimes you have a print that's this good, and it doesn't. And so, you just have to go back and evaluate it and see why. And it could just be just a panel that you had. But I thought this one was really cool the way, I was able to achieve the skin texture on there. And finish is important. You got to take time for these little details. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is Legend of Brazos from back in like 2011. The technique, I thought I finished it very well. I had more of a chalk artistic look on it combined with photographic feel. I think my technique was still evolving at this time, but it was one of my favorite prints, and I have it hanging in my house, and it's one of the prints that I go back and I look at, and I don't feel like there's anything I could have done better. And so that makes me very happy. And so I knew that I finished this off well, and it did very well with wards and everything. So the point is, you want to get to a point to where you can actually know that, okay, this is the point where I have to finish this print. I have to get it over to this next level. And sometimes it takes trial and error to do it, and also takes a good mentor, a series of mentors, of people who can give you a second set of eyes and give you some feedback and give you some opinions. And I encourage you to find good mentors. I've had many of them, and I've been very thankful for all of them. And one of them is John Allen, who is basically, he taught me how to compete and taught me how to, I hate to say play this game, but he taught me the ins and outs of it, and I went in with my own style and my own thought process, and went in and said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And now I'm keep trying to push my own limits at this. I don't feel like I compete against anybody else, because it really doesn't matter, about the awards. What matters is, did you grow? Did you go to that next level? Now, I do want that loan image, though. Don't get me wrong. If I don't get a loan image, I'm not very happy. But I do want that loan image. And so I try to go double diamond every year I can. And I'm going to see how many years I can keep doing it. So, well, thank you very much. And y'all have a good day.